And hello to you. Welcome to Uncovering Authenticity. I am your host, Monique Bradley. It's a delight to have you here. If you haven't listened to this podcast before, my job is to talk to real people about real stories, what makes them tick. We're about getting rid of the mask, getting rid of perceptions, and finding out what's going on in the heart, why they do what they do. We talk about business, we talk about life, and everything in between. And today my guest is the amazing David Umarov. Yay!
Thank you. Nice
Did I say your name properly?
Yes, almost.
Almost.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, where does that beautiful name come from?
My first name or second name?
The second one. David, I know, but the second one, Umarov.
Umarov is, it's actually Arabic name, Omar. Yeah.
Right. Does it have a special meaning?
I don't know.
Okay.
There was some cool guy back in the days, so that's his name. And Ov is a Russianized surname. Like, for example, if Robert was born in Russia, he would be Robertov.
No.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So if I was born in Russia, I'd be Monikov.
Monikov, your first name. What's your surname?
Oh, Bradley.
Bradleyov or Bradleyevich.
Okay, interesting. I had no idea. So where do you come from originally?
I was born in Russia, in Sochi, in Soviet Union times, in 1988. I'm 36 years old.
But you've ended up here. So where have you been? I know we had a chat before we started today. You've been everywhere.
Yeah, I went to 5 different schools. I grew up in 3 different countries. So I was always a new kid. Anywhere I go, I was a new kid. So I had to pitch myself. I had to make my friends because no one would come and talk to me. Yeah, so I had to say, hi, how are you, I had to do the first steps.
Well, and so, because you're quite a confident guy by nature, like I've met you through but yeah, I do. We met through a BNI group where you came in to sub for somebody that you work with, the lovely Todd Shirley from Harcourts in Mount Eden.
Yes, that's right.
And you worked together and you came in to sub for him. And I thought, oh, wow, what a confident guy. I thought you got up and spoke really well. Your speech was short, but it was confident. And that's not something you were used to. But now knowing that about you, knowing that you have to be the first person to say, hey, how are you going? That makes a lot of sense. You've lived in 3 different countries and New Zealand is the third?
Third one, yeah.
Now, you mentioned before we started the podcast today, you came to New Zealand not knowing a single word of English.
Mine is 0. Not a single word.
So what languages did you speak?
Russian and Turkish.
Wow. So what was it like coming to a new country where you don't speak the language?
I don't know. I had to think about those parts. I just had to migrate somewhere. Initially, I wanted to learn English. I've been trying to learn English in Uzbekistan, Tashkent, in Russia. It didn't happen because you have to be in an English-speaking country to learn English. Because you go to school, you come home, and you speak your own language. You can't learn. So I had to go somewhere, and I chose New Zealand.
What attracted you to New Zealand?
It's not a big country, nature, and I don't know, out of blue. I had a 3 option, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. And I chose New Zealand out of all of a sudden, yeah.
Wow. And so when you came here, what did you come for?
To learn English. Mm-hmm. So I came to Palmerston North in 2013.
Palmerston North.
Yeah, because
I shouldn't laugh. I love Palmerston North.
Yeah,
it's
because
great.
I knew that in the bigger cities there would be like a Russian community, so you end up with your own community and never learn English. That's what I thought. So I had to go somewhere that is not any Russian, not any Turkish, so I can surround myself with English speakers.
Did you come with family or did you come by yourself?
My family, my eyebrows, eyes, and nose. No one. No family.
Wow. So just you?
Yeah.
How old were you?
24 or 25.
Okay. All right. And so you came to New Zealand to learn English, and were you working at that time or did you come to study?
I came to study, yeah. I was allowed to work only 20 hours as a student.
Of course.
Yeah. So I was a kitchen hand in a restaurant, in Turkish restaurant, because I couldn't speak English. So I started working in Turkish restaurants as a kitchen hand.
No way. So one of the questions I've always wanted to ask, I'm an English speaker and I've learnt elements of different languages because I'm a singer as well, like you, we're both singers.
Yeah.
And so I've learnt these different languages, but I still, if I was going to speak them, I still have to think in English to be able to translate into those other languages. Even with my own language, Te Reo Māori,
Yes.
I still think in English to be able to formulate the structure. Was there a time when you were learning English where suddenly you didn't have to translate? I've always wanted to know this. So you're not having to think in Turkish, as an example, and then translate it into English?
When I speak English until today, I always think. You have to think before you speak, because sometimes some Turkish word or Russian word comes out from my mouth. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And how long ago was that when you arrived here?
When I arrived here,
14 years, did you say you've been here?
11
years.
Yeah.
So even now, 11 years later, you are still really conscious of what you're saying or thinking about what you say to get the right words.
Yeah, because people judge you by the way how you look and whatever comes out from your mouth. It also matters. That's why I don't rush to speak. I just take my time and breathe so I can have some time. Yeah, English is my third language. It's not even second language.
That's just mind-blowing to me. Wow. So you came to New Zealand, you worked in a restaurant, but you've had a few different jobs and you've got a few different talents. Tell me about those.
Well, I love singing. Yeah, I was a music guy when I was growing up. I started playing piano when I was 6, but my father was a copper. He's very like a military guy. He wanted me to be a police. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, police or military, something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you mentioned you've been a sound engineer as well.
Yeah, I went to university, art university. I've done sound engineering. I started recording my music, mixing, mastering. Yeah.
So when you were producing your own music,
Yeah.
was the influence still that because I love Turkish music, was it still that sort of influence?
No.
What were you producing?
Just any Western music, pop music, yeah. Not the traditional music. I'm not into traditional music. I like jazz. I like soul music. Yeah, I like Bee Gees, Frank Sinatra. I'm very old soul.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I grew up on all that stuff. My dad was a jazz musician, so I totally get it, and I love all that stuff too. So I have to ask you, you now work with Todd Shirley and you're at Harcourt's Metro, they're called, in Mount Eden. So how did you move from being a musician and a chef, and you've worked in numerous restaurants as well?
Yeah.
How did you move from that into real estate?
The main impact was COVID. Yeah, I got redundancy after the first lockdown, and I was lost for some time. I don't know what to do because I can only play music and cook.
Yeah.
And I went to another restaurant in North Shore to apply for a job. That guy, he spoke to me about 2 hours, and he said, "Have you thought of being in sales, selling cars or real estate agent?" I said, "Why?" Because he said that you speak few languages, you're young.
Oh, yes.
I don't normally listen to people's opinion, but sometimes you got to listen as well because he's got a massive life experience. He used to own a hotel and a few restaurants. He said, you can be a chef. No problem, I can give you a job. But what about real estate? And that time, that rings the bell. Yeah.
And I love it sometimes when you're in conversations with people and those moments happen. There's been a few of those moments in the podcast where people have talked about those moments where somebody has just said something that's made them go, "Oh, was that an opportunity?"
Yes.
Is that how that felt for you?
Yeah, it was like a few sentences that changed my life. Still today, I always think I say to him, you changed my life.
Are we allowed to give that person a shout out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was it?
His name is Sam. He's restaurant owner in Takapuna, Hasmi Road, and his cafe called Sam's Eatery.
Sam's Eatery. Shout out to Sam's Eatery. I'm going to go and check it out now.
Little authentic Turkish Mediterranean cafe. Yeah. So after I didn't even think one day, I just got out of his place. I went to Harcourt straight away.
Wow. So you were straight into Harcourt's.
Yeah.
So tell me about what was it like for you? Was it hard getting into the industry? Because I only know what it's like to be a speaker and an MC and work in TV. Like, I know my world. I can't imagine what it would be like to get into real estate. And I know there's probably people who might be watching or listening who have thought about it as a career. Is it hard to get into?
No, it's easy to get into, but hard to keep up. Like Muhammad Ali said, now you can be champion, but keeping the title, it's actually much more harder.
Wow, that's such a great analogy.
You can go do the course 6 months and you can pay some money to get the license. But are you going to keep up with the job? Because real estate is all about rejection. Sometimes to get 1 yes, you have to get 20 no's. Yeah, so you have to take rejection professionally, not personally.
That's such a good point. That is such a good point. It's like me. I'm an actor, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how many millions of auditions I've been to, and I just have to remember that every no is just another no in the lineup of no's that you get until you get that one that says yes.
Yeah.
I absolutely understand that. And so how do you keep, like you were talking about, it's about keeping going. It's about keeping the title. What keeps you going in this industry? And it's been hard this year. Yeah. What keeps you going?
The vision you have, and if you believe in yourself, and just, I don't know, confidence probably. Confidence in yourself, faith in yourself. Yeah.
And do you think that's come from that experience as a child of being the new kid?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I worked in a customer service before. I'll combine everything and put into real estate. Like I said, I've been through 5 schools when I was growing up in 3 different countries. I was a new kid, so I had to go and talk to people. The real estate is a similar thing. You know, if you can't talk to people, probably in the wrong industry.
Well, yeah, good point. Well, I think of myself, again, I'm reflecting on this because over the years, I've done a lot of sales. I worked in TV shopping, and there's been people who have said to me, oh, you'd be great in real estate. And I love it, and I have huge respect for people who are real estate agents. And I couldn't do it because while I might be great at selling, it's that initial cold calling part of knocking on doors and reaching out to people. I, like most people, really struggle with that.
But you got to love it. If you love door knocking, that's okay, you know. You're never going to meet the same person who said, no, I'm not selling. That's fine. You know, someone will, someone won't. It sells.
So is it like a game for you?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to enjoy it. Like, you know, if you watch the All Blacks, sometimes they lose, sometimes they won, but you enjoy the game anyway. Yeah. If you look at your business or real estate or whatever you do as a game, it becomes more interesting. I don't go to the job to think about the money. I just love it. Loving meeting new people, getting rejected, phone calls, negotiating and all that.
It's just, that's a whole different world from the world I know. I find it absolutely fascinating. So what do you think, like right now, it's a really interesting time in real estate, and I'm going to timestamp this, which I don't normally do. So we are, July the 3rd, 2024, and it's been a really interesting post-COVID journey in real estate. So we're seeing, you know, we've got, you know, cost of living crisis going on, and we're seeing people freaking out because they got these mortgages fixed during the time of COVID at amazing rates, and then suddenly they're paying an extra $600 a month in repayments and everything. Is the market spooked, or is the market buoyant? Are people buying and selling? Or is it,
people still buying and selling because people have everyone's got a different case. Someone's going to Australia, someone's going to Canada, you know, someone's coming back, they're buying, they're selling overseas, or someone's divorcing. You know, you sell house for all sorts of reasons. It's not always about, market is good, I'm going to sell it. Sometimes people have no time to wait when the market goes up. They have motivation, they have their own purpose to sell now. So our job is to get them the best price for their house in the current market.
Gotcha. That makes a huge amount of sense. And so how do you feel about doing that for them? I guess you love it, don't you?
I love it, yeah.
That's just incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. So what is the future for you in this industry?
Future?
Yeah.
I want to take everything. I want to take as much as I can from the industry, because real estate offers flexibility. Real estate offers to be yourself. You don't have to be someone else, you know, because people like you, who you are, and then they sell with you. I'm not giving up. I know economy is tough, recession, but who gives a fuck? Let's have some fun.
I love that. That's the quote of the day, I think. That's absolutely brilliant. Oh, this is very insightful for me because, again, it's a world I don't know anything about. It's completely different. Now, we were talking the other day, and there was one thing that you said to me at the BNI networking group. Shout out to BNI Platinum Newmarket. We love you guys. You're all amazing. Yeah. You're amazing. Many of the members have actually been on this podcast. But one of the things that you and I were talking about was your approach to a meeting. So you're used to talking to people one-to-one. One-to-one,
maximum 3 people.
Yep. That's where you feel most comfortable. Whereas I love a stage. Give me 40,000 people and I'm happy. That's great. And that's fantastic. Everybody has a different sized audience that works really well for them. And I said to you, what makes it work for you? And you said to me, have you heard of the 80-20 rule?
Yeah.
And I'd love for you to explain because I have, but you approached it from a very different perspective around how you listen to people.
You can apply 80-20 to different things. In my case, 80-20 is like 80% about your client, the person you're talking to, and 20% about yourself. So that's my difference. I listen. If even someone's talking bullshit or he's not right, I will still give him a chance to talk. You have to listen. If you don't listen, then what? You can't solve the problem. Our job is solving a problem, help people get from A to B. You can't just go and talk about yourself, or I'm the agent, and then walk away. And then probably you might not get to see that person second time again because everyone wants to talk. Yeah. So I want to be the listener.
Oh, I love that. That's so good as well. So for people who are considering getting into the industry, would you recommend they do?
Yeah. Why not? They can go and try. But 2 different types of people come to real estate. Some people say, I'll come and try and see how it goes. Otherwise, I can go back to driving an Uber or working in McDonald's or whatever. Yep. And some people come, I'll make it because that's me.
Which one are you?
Second one.
Yeah, of course.
But people told me, from being a chef and musician, it's totally different thing. Real estate is going to be hard. I said, yeah, it's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. It's not your part of your problem.
So having the big vision of where you want to go, is that what drives you?
That drives me, and flexibility, helping people. Everyone says, I like helping people, but I like genuinely helping people, solving their problems, meeting new people. The real estate allows me to do so. While in other job, let's say you're an accountant, no offense, but lawyers, accountant, they deal with the case, always in the office. I'm not that guy. I have to be active. I have to be outside, shaking more hands, talking to more people. Yeah.
Have you ever thought of politics as well?
No, it's not me. It's not me. Okay. I like being told what to do.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So this podcast is, like I said, it's about getting to the core of who you are. And a lot of what I find is that underneath those layers, once we get through to that core of why you do what you do, there's always a piece of wisdom in there that you've learned through your life experience, not just your work, but your life. And I'm a firm believer that at any given time, when we share that message, you never know where it's going to land.
Yeah.
That someone out there hears it and they go, oh my God, I needed to hear that message right now. And it can change their life. It's like being on the Oprah Winfrey show. And I always say this because I always think there's an Oprah moment in everyone.
That's right.
So if you had your Oprah moment right now, and I'd like to think you are, I'd like to think, that this is your moment where you get to share that wisdom. What would be that one piece of advice through this incredible journey you've been on, living in 3 different countries, going to 5 different schools, moving to a country where you knew no one, you had very little money, you had to pay all of your money to learning English.
Yeah.
You couldn't even speak the language when you moved here. You've gone through multiple jobs in different industries and you've found this home where you are, physically and metaphorically, I guess, with real estate. What would be the one piece of wisdom you take away from your life journey that you want to share with people?
Find your passion, find your niche, what you're good at. If you're not good at it, it's okay. You can learn and master it and help people through that skill without thinking about money. If you can solve the problem and help people, money will flow to your way.
So good, David. That's awesome. Yeah. That is so good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When I was a chef, I liked cooking, but I didn't know that it energized me. The real estate energized me. And talking to people, meeting you, meeting Pete, energized me, you know. When I'm by myself, I'm not that energized. I think I'm Gemini, like you.
Yeah.
I get energized. I have to be always talking, listening, and I have to be active. That's why I found real estate as me, and I'm not living real estate sometimes.
Cool. That's amazing. So would you say it's about trusting your path as well, and trusting your instinct about what energizes you?
Yeah. Because it's all about enthusiasm, energy. Yes, you have to have a, like, experience and knowledge, but I think I go out there and sell my energy. Yeah.
I totally get that, because I'm exactly the same. We may be in different industries, but everything for me is about that energy exchange.
Yeah, but like you said, look at it. Sell yourself first before you sell something else for them. Yeah.
People buy from people
they like.
Yeah, that's it. People buy from people they like.
Yeah.
There you go. What a statement. I have to put that into one of our YouTube shorts, because that's such a good quote. David, thank you so much. Now, if people love the sound of you and they want to reach out and connect with you, whether they want to work with you, they want to work with you in real estate, or they want to work with you as their real estate agent, or they just really like you and they want to become your friend, how best can they connect with you?
Through my Instagram.
Yep.
I've got a TikTok. I've got everything, LinkedIn, Facebook.
Tell me the details. What's the details? What do they look for on Instagram?
David Umarov, Real Estate.
Spell the surname.
Umarov. R for Russian, O for original, and V for vodka.
And is that the same across all platforms?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you've worked in hospitality, because we've already been talking about alcohol before we even started this podcast today. Look, I think that's absolutely fantastic. And David, look, I wish you all the very best with your career. It's so nice to talk to another hyper-driven person like me. I really acknowledge that, and I wish you every success.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And if you want to connect with David, you've heard it here, David Umarov, and I hope I said that correctly, Umarov. I'll put all the details in the content somewhere, either around, below, beside this video, so you can get in touch with David. But do get in touch with him. He's got a heart of gold. He cares about people, and it's all about you and your story when you're in a consult with him. So reach out to him and get in touch. David, thank you so much. Yay!
Thank you very much.
Woo! And thanks to Pete also for producing. You're a legend.
Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Pete. It was great, David. Well done.
For the first time, I think it was amazing. Yeah.
You're amazing.